Hey, shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is Brother Yatab Yahweh Allah coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. Lord's will, it's edifying. Going into researching it for yourself. All right, the Apostle Gabar was watching his live stream earlier, and he was making comments and going into history and different points of the scriptures. And he had made a comment saying, research it for yourself. Go out and get this knowledge for yourself. Look into these things, look into the history. And it's a spirit. I had done a lesson yesterday going into basically reading the scriptures, because it boosts your faith. Getting into these prophecies, it boosts your faith. And another aspect of that, of boosting your confidence, which really just means faith, is studying and researching these things. Okay, knowing the history. All right, again, knowing the scriptures, knowing the prophecies. But to do that, you have to study. All right, you have to set a certain time, and we can all do better. Hey, this is to me first and foremost. In setting a time to study, setting a time to, master our craft. Okay. But this is Proverbs 14 and 15. It says, the simple believeth every word. Okay. Yeah. The simple, they believe anything that is said. All right. You go look at the majority of our people. Look who's following our enemy. All right, Esau Edom, who believes in his medical system, who believes in his lies, his so-called theories, everything that he pushes out. All right, his propaganda, without ever looking into it. So it says the simple believe every word, but the prudent man, okay, that wise man, somebody who's understanding. What does it say? But the prudent man looketh well to his going. So a prudent man is gonna look well to his going. All right. A prudent man, okay, is not going to just accept anything that's said. A prudent man is going to look into these things. He's going to take the time to research it himself. All right, whether it's herbs, all right, whether it's certain exercising, all right, diet, okay, and first and foremost, this truth. All right, hey, when it comes to salvation, you want to know without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, you want to have that faith, that confidence. Okay, now that confidence comes by way of studying and looking these things out for yourself. Okay, says, let me grab this real quick. Romans 14 and 5. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. So, one way to be persuaded, all right, one aspect of being fully persuaded, we know first and foremost we have to have that gift of faith, all right, and the Lord has to give us the ability to actually believe and be persuaded. But one aspect of how that comes is looking into these things. Okay, look into the history. When apostles and elders on down say something, search whether it's true. All right, because you can't just depend on another man. All right, you have to do these things on your own. Okay, well, it says, let me get this. In Philippians 2 and 12, it says, wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. Okay, so even when apostles and elders aren't looking, ultimately you have to understand Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is there. Okay, the angels are there. Scriptures say his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. All right, there's nothing that's hid from the Lord. So on your off days, when you have leisure time, what are you doing? All right, are you out here being of the world, or are you getting into the script? All right, are you trying to work on yourself? Are you trying to be better? Okay, are you trying to, perfect your craft? All right, but it says, wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Okay, so we have to work out our own salvation. We have to be fully persuaded. Yes, the apostles and elders, have done the heavy lifting. All right, but there's still work to do. Okay, to be able to go out there on the highways and hedges, to be able to teach, all right, to be able to even have conversations about the truth, you have to know what you're talking about. All right, and when you look into these things, when you study, all right, when you go into the history, you get it's like the picture, so to speak, is painted that much more better. All right. But it takes that study. It takes putting your hand to the plow, so to speak. All right. And part of putting your hand to the plow is studying. All right. Well, let me jump back here. Proverbs 14:15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. And again, hey, we're talking about salvation. All right. We're talking about either salvation or destruction. Okay. Now, understanding salvation, understanding that there is, very few that are going to make it out of here. Well, wouldn't you want to do everything you can that's in your hands, so to speak, to be able to get out of here? Well, one aspect is that one aspect of that is studying. All right. Let me go over here. 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, let me start at verse 14. It says, an unashamed workman. It says, of these things put them in remembrance, charging them before the Lord, that they strive not about words to no profit, but to the subverting of the hearers. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. Now let me see what it says for study. G4704, Spadazo. It says, to hasten, make haste, to exert oneself, endeavor, give diligence. All right, what does it say? Give diligence to make thy calling and election sure. But what is diligence? To be diligent, to endeavor, to labor, to study. Okay, you have to exert yourself. All right, and again, it's a learning process. Some of us hated school, when we're in Esau's school system. But again, this is a different type of schooling. All right, this is a different type of reward. Okay, in Esau's school, that was indoctrination. All right, that was a different type of learning. All right, which the scriptures say the knowledge of this world is foolishness with the Most High. But now, what are we getting into? We're getting into the true knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Everything that's pertinent on salvation. Now, again, understanding that, what do we need to do? We need to exert ourselves. We need to truly study. All right, learning the true art of studying and being diligent. All right, and again, it's a learning process. But scriptures say nothing is impossible with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We just got to ask. Well, the scriptures say, if we're lacking in anything, especially wisdom, ask of the Most High, and He will give to you liberally. All right, but hey, it's a two-way street. If you ask, well, you got to do the things showing that you really want what you're asking for. All right. What's in your control? Now, part of what's in our control is to study. Search these things out. All right. See whether they are true. Research it for ourselves. All right. And I'm going to end off on this. This is Acts 17:10. It says, Paul at Berea. Again, like I said, mentioned in my last lesson, well, the scriptures say, these things are written for our learning. Now, one account of truly studying is the church of Berea. It says, Paul at Berea, Acts 17:10, and the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. All right. This says, therefore many of them believed also of honorable women, which were Greeks, and of men not a few. But the point is, they were more noble. Okay, why? Because they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched these scriptures daily to see whether these things are so. They needed to be persuaded in their own mind. All right. This is the word for noble. What was it? G2104. Eugenus.
Strong's G 2104. Eugenes.
All right. It says well born of a noble family, noble minded. All right, and it comes from G444. All right, and Hey, we're a nation of kings and priests. And if we are indeed of the elect, Lord's will, we're of that number. All right, this is where it starts. All right, to be noble-minded is to study, to look well to our goings. Okay, to be persuaded, to study. All right, because this is us. All right, this is about us. This is our heritage. Okay, everything from the laws to the Psalms to the history. This is all about us. Now, a true nobleman is gonna know that history. Okay, you're gonna know everything that is required to be known. All right, but it's gonna take a lot of studying to get there. All right, and it first and foremost comes by way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, hey, but again, this is just a short lesson. Lord's will, this is edifying. Hey, we have to study to show ourselves approved, and we have to research these things ourselves. All right, hey, we got to be persuaded in our own mind. All right, hey, Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, call Haloim Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect and a bubble ball.